Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
I only know what I was told. It's tissue sample matched ones from Londonian.
Just taking her word for it as well, then.
I fucking hate that motherfucker.
So it would seem. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
Yes, if the fear of the data being weaponized,
It's a little...
It doesn't matter if it can be weaponized or not.
That?
An excellent point indeed. The other powers would likely be much more inclined to work with us knowing that. Chief Diplomat.
That point is a good one. Very well, you have my agreement. The galaxy is lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Ensign, Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-xeno...
You know what? We gotta make this obviously as close to it as it should be.
The squad, though, is off-world.
I like that
It'll take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on
Yes.
it, ma'am. Captain?
Yes,
I'm right
ma'am.
behind. Let's get down there.
Hold on, I got my caps off. Hold on. I had to turn that off. Go, 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 go.
You! The air rifle, grab it! Now!
Now hit him with everything you've got. We're trying to help you!
you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We'd tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready. Let's do it.
Nat's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
Yes, ma'am. I hope that it's gonna sound really messed up, but I hope one of them gets attacked by it, because then I can get the outfit.
God, no time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and build firepower. Let's move. Enemy okay.
Spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
You might back up. Don't just stand there. Good.
Sadly, I only got the gun, but... Hasta la vista, baby.
Wait. Officer? Are you and this woman... Take whatever we can get right now. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. One fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. Wait. Hold them as best we can.
Don't worry. Make sure of it. I think that's set.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with Terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here, but we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us. Your call. We're on the line.
stay back in case this shit goes tits up quickly. There. Hold on. Quick coffee break. Oh god, I really hope. Okay, yeah, I have hydration. Do I have? I got. Dark tissue. Load all my weapons. Check all weapons. That's 72 rounds. 40. Yeah. That's mean. I don't know if any ammos are tied to
It's over. Thank God. If these things reached the populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands. We should have a talk. When you have the time, of course.
Remember our last conversation when you told me the artifacts made your mind and body feel out of sync? Well, it got me thinking. So I dove into our archives and started looking through Constellation's older journal entries. Just because I wasn't familiar with the experience you described doesn't mean the same might have been true for my predecessor.
Did I mention your predecessor?
Really? I'm surprised that I haven't. After reading those journals, all of the pleasant memories of my time spent with Aja just started flooding back. Oh yes, absolutely. I didn't mean to compare. Those were just, oh, I don't know, different times. Aja was the one that taught me the ropes at Constellation and took me under her wing as her protege.
Maybe she was trying to keep an eye on the rookie.
Yeah, I thought so too. That's why I adopted her methods. You know, Aja and I logged quite a few interesting discoveries together, but it was the journey itself that I'll never forget.
I can relate to that.
Exactly. For me, it was all about the quieter moments. There was nothing quite like sitting back and watching space bend while listening to Aja spin vivid stories to fill the time. Oh, I find that sort of cozy isolation the best way to really get to know someone. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. You know, all this talk about Aja reminds me that my time with her was a gift. I miss her dearly.
I don't think she's dead.
I respected her, and I considered her a dear friend, but we weren't in love. Had that been true, I would have resigned my post and moved to Parima 2 instead of remaining at Constellation. Come to think of it, if we're ever out that far, perhaps we could pay her a visit, and I could make proper introductions.
So, I'll do the best I can to make our journeys just as
Well, I don't expect you to be a carbon copy of Aja. Just be yourself. You see, it's clear that we share the same hunger to discover what's out there. And that, well, that's what intrigues me about you. I don't know if I deserve to be that close to anyone right now.
Okay, well.
If you knew about the things that I've done, the way my life's unfolded, I think your opinion of me might change. Please, give me some time. I have to go.
Guess they weren't kidding about you two. Universe put the right people in the right place.
This isn't supposed to happen. You all held the line. Your heroes here, not us.
Certainly doesn't feel like it.
I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all-clear signal before exiting your homes. That is all.
Alright, we were dealt with. Just a heads up, I'm gonna stream it for 1 hour and 20 minutes. I'm really tired, I can't do a full stream today. Okay, keep going.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, there you are. I believe we have some things we should discuss.
The loss of life, the damage to the spaceport. The costs of this attack are greater than I think we realize.
Captain, Hadrian, it would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today, as well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Agreed, thank you.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed, first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now.
It's
The cabinet
me.
wants you, Captain, to be that representative. We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us?
You count on me, man.
I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
Yes, ma'am.
Terramorphs rear their ugly heads. The UC is going to be ready.
My officers were unprepared for what happened at the spaceport. I intend to correct that.
Hey.
Chief Yassine, these orders. A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require.
Oh, assassination.
That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need, and that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
They're the repository for all the van data from the Colony War.
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
You think they'll be clamoring to help after his birthday?
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun?
Balmore. Get it over and done with.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
That just sounds pretty promising.
It does, but there's a concern. We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice.
I'll track him down.
I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, We received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Right.
Captain. The good Ambassador Ratcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her. Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support. And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Alright, tell me about the tools then.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze. UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage. But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell. So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen. Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
That's all the info I need for the moment. Okay.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise. And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there. Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask.
Yes,
I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Yes, ma'am. Alright, so I guess we're heading to Freestar Collective. Hold on. Yeah, Freestar Collective first. These guys get to have a
By the way,
awesome
Captain,
outfit.
Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
Like I'm not already busy with everything. Oh, yeah, no, we're gonna stop that right there. We're heading that way. I've got a lot of credits now. Okay, real credit. EM weapon, I can definitely not.
Maybe we should stop for a moment at the memorial. You know, to pay our respects. Yeah? Hurry back. Can I help?
Lead the way.
Oh, yeah, right, you know. Brain says to go for this, but we always have it destroyed, so we don't really have a lot of rules here. What I'm most likely gonna do is I'm actually gonna go stealth. We won't get the shotgun certification yet.
2 decades since we were at war with the Collective, and it seems like only yesterday.
You our visitor? You'll find the ambassador in her office. Go on through.
Clearly not, but okay.
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby, offices, or conference room.
I'm going to be up front with you. I'm not happy visiting anything related to the Freestar Collective, but you lead, and I'll follow.
Terrors, as in more than one? All that security, and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here? I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment? Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned
Why is your head
and
so
maybe
big?
it was just a bad connection, that now the
her
UC
head's, like,
wants terramorph
massive.
data from the Armistice archives.
Like, damn,
some of the most highly guarded
why?
information in the galaxy. In order to protect us all.
Jesus
I can only
Christ.
presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right.
Correctly, we need help, otherwise. That's right.
Excuse me. A less level-headed person might think that was a threat, Captain.
The only threats you're facing are the 8-legged variety just outside your door. Now can we please stop playing games here? Lives hang in the balance.
A lecture in morality from the UC. How quaint and short-sighted. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours, and go? You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance, one, to convince me. Understood. I'm listening. The warmongers of the UC will find a way.
Oh my god.
Preventing more deaths is precisely what I'm trying to do by And if the United call. Captain,
damn
I'm
it.
sorry, but my answer is not changing.
That woman isn't... Oh, sorry. Oh, what? You're the Vanguard captain, right? You know, I was about to board the Nat to the spaceport when the alarm triggered. Sounds like I got real lucky. And like I've got you to thank for things not being a lot uglier. Doubt the Vanguard would have a lot of recruits if that were the job description. But I'll take your point. But look, they said you were coming here on official business. The ambassador likes to handle all that personally, even if she does have trained diplomats here to help her. And I don't want to get shipped back to Aquila City, so you should probably go speak to her.
Ignores your talents, empathy, whatever that word is. Wisdom, I won't do that if you were...
What, you want me to work for you? Huh. Well, maybe, let's go somewhere to talk. So you want me to work with you? But why now? Why me?
We need help preventing more terramorph attacks.
No, I think that's a pretty safe assumption. And no other city should have to go through what happened here. So then, what would you need from me?
You give me the ambassador.
Okay, first you need her bio key, and that thing doesn't leave her side. Better chance of splitting the atom with a spoon than me getting that from her. Her quarters. Huh. Oh, that's doable. And you and the UC will be providing me with what for my services? Oh, wait, I thought you were looking to hire me. Oh, I'm not taking a bribe. That much, huh? Okay, no, okay, yeah. Okay, so there's a utility corridor that leads to the ambassador's quarters, which you can access through the main conference room. Here, the key. Whatever you do.
Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna be that guy here in a moment. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna head back. I'm gonna try persuading her again. I don't wanna have to all that. But then again, it could be good. That just might have been a mistake.
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby, offices,
Terramorphs? As in more than one? All that security and they still can't protect their own space.
We're gonna skip most likely.
I just wish I had received news from an SSNS broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
We'll try one time.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ah, you're the one McIntyre called? You have my... Now the use... I can only...
We've already heard this conversation.
I was afraid of... Let me be frank, Captain. I will not be... You're really gonna push this? No, Captain, I'm not, and I'll tell you why. What you experienced down there at the spaceport, I've lived that once before already. Fought tooth and nail as aliens rampaged in the streets of my home and others all throughout the collective. But my aliens were placed there by UC hands. So I'm not interested in anyone getting power like that ever again. The UC most of all.
You're deeply mistrusting women.
You have my answer. Now please take the hint. I'm listening.